TM.
Well, should we get into another game? You got the white pieces now, so
I
it's
sent you a rematch, so whenever you're ready, we
Okay.
can.
All
I
right.
need revenge now.
I know. I think I can't see the rematch, but I'll send a rematch to you.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
And we'll mute it. And yeah, good luck in the
Yeah,
next
good
one.
luck in the second game. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Cheers. Oof. Oh, okay. I don't normally like suffering in openings, but it was. I'm happy I managed to save that one. What are we going to play? Let's start with a Sicilian. Let's go for an interesting opening, and we'll wheel out C5 in this one. So it was, I say a fortunate first win. It should have been a draw, that first game, no doubt about it. I think I was holding the ending, but it was just not very comfortable. E5 was only moved. Blair, I'm still worried about the Scotch until I have a look at it, Blair. I need to look at the Scotch opening a little bit more before we play that. So we're gonna get a very exciting Sicilian here. Now, the only Sicilians I play is really the dragon, so I'm going to go for the dragon. And this is one of those ones where if your theory doesn't go so well, you could be in trouble. Why not the French? I play the French, I play the Sicilian, I play E5 now. Still learning probably E5 the most, but I'm enjoying the club players dynamite repertoire that I did with Blair. I play the Black Lion. I play the modern. So I try to against E4. I've kind of tried to play everything because I struggle. I think E4's to me a lot scarier than D4. E4 you have to play. You have to be quite careful. Okay, so Bishop E3. Now there's two choices here, and I'm going to keep it interesting. Rather than going for the main line dragons, which I've played a lot of my life, I'm going to go for this little move. It's an interesting move. It's called the Dragadorf, which is a mix between the Nyadorf and the dragon, and it's maybe a good way to get your opponent out of theory, right? So we want to. I mean, there's now a lot of fear in this. When I started playing this, there wasn't a lot of theory. Okay, so this one with the idea of G4, I'm assuming it is what's coming. So I will play B5, and let's just make sure there's no tactic on this diagonal. I doubt it. Well, I mean, if there is, then you shouldn't be playing A6. So let's go B5, and then I get my bishop to this diagonal to try and cover any tactics and put a little bit of pressure on the center. Yeah, I mean, mainline dragons. I think again you've got to think practically against who you're playing, and in the last game, even though Maaike played extremely well, and you could say outplayed me really in the middle game, which she did. It's just in the end game I showed a bit of experience, and maybe she just pushed a little bit too hard, putting out pawns on light squares. But you got to. The thing is, I know Maaike is a younger than me. Works for Chessable, maybe works on Anisha's dragon course. So playing like a line. When I'm playing someone really theoretical, I often play this line, which is a mix between the dragon and the Nydorf. It's kind of a really weird, rare opening, and it's good for surprise weapons. And there's not much theory on it. Now, can she play E5? I don't believe she can, but I'm suddenly getting scared. Takes Queen F3. Takes Queen takes here. Taking she can't do that. I'm getting far too much. Surely Queen D2 is an idea. So E5, I just take it. Surely this is just nonsense, right? I have to go here. Then she can castle. Oh, don't do scary things like that to me. I mean, is E5 playable here? I'm suddenly like, can she play E5? Can she play E5? Is that actually... Okay, she didn't do it, which I'm quite happy about, actually. It probably didn't work, but you get a little bit scared, right? Okay, so I'm going to just go bishop b7. Clearly her plan's to go on this diagonal, so I need to cover that diagonal and go bishop b7. And this is actually quite a common idea against the dragon. Now I am threatening this one, so you've got to think what happens if I play the move b4. Well, the knight comes in here, and that's probably alright for her. Do I play h5 and move the knight back to d7? Or do we try to get to c4? How do we play this position? Do we simply develop? Which way she's going to castle? I don't even know which way Maaike's going to castle. Maybe is e5 an idea? This is often a move you have to be a little bit scared of. I don't think so at the moment. So I might now bring the knight, because if she goes queen d2, which she won't because she's a good player, my knight has a way into c4. So I might bring the knight, and this is where you want to put the knight. And I might, if she goes here, I'll go knight here, and bishop f3 doesn't seem right. I can always come back to g7. So I think this is okay. Let's just keep. And this is why this setup, the Dragendorf, is quite different to the Dragon, because you get a different opening. In the Dragon, you put this knight on c6 and you put this bishop on here, but that's why it's got kind of like a Najdorf element to it. And what I mean by Najdorf, Najdorf meaning that in the Najdorf you normally put your knight and bishop here. Now if Maaike does go e5, I'm just going to take on g2, and if she takes on f3, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't believe this one. Takes. She can move the rook, but my bishop is very strong if it doesn't have a light square bishop to fight against. Now, I mean, there's a lot of ideas when you play this opening that you can go for. I like keeping it really flexible, so my knight can come to e5. Sometimes you do put a pawn on e5. Sometimes you put a pawn on e5. Because you want to force this knight back, and that's like the traditional Najdorf way to play. And really what you've got to do, you've got to try to steal ideas from both the Najdorf and the Dragon to play this. But again, this position, there's probably no theory on it whatsoever. Again, if you do want to check this position, then do check out this website which I've created. It's been a lot of work, this website. If you subscribe to this website, and we're trying to get more subscribers, you can go on it for free. But if you subscribe, you can set this position up on that website, and you can see if there's been any games played in it. And this is the kind of thing I should be doing later. Okay, so castling kingside is the more refrained way of playing. Now I've got to be a little bit more aware of this one now, but I think bishop takes g7 is fine. I don't think I need to worry about that. Her plan is clearly to go f4 and just try to crush me. So we might want to meet this with e5, but I think I should be getting castled here. This one, just double check, that's the only one I'm scared of. Bishop takes here, it's nothing, is it? Oh, hang on, if I go bishop g7 though, here takes here, maybe becomes something. Do I have to go queen c7 first? Don't really want to, it's a waste of move really. Do we go knight here and try to just play very actively? That might be clever. Knight here, and then the other knight can come here, which is a standard maneuver in this position. I might go for this. If she plays b3, I've got like rook c8 counterplay. I'm gonna try this move. This seems to be the most interesting, because c4 is when you're playing certain openings, you need to know what squares you can move the pieces into, and c4 in this position is in the Sicilian. When you play Sicilian with black, you should always be basically trying to get knight to c4 is one of the main middle game ideas. And I keep saying this again, that whenever you're learning any opening, it's not just learning the opening moves. You should be knowing what plans, where do you want to put your pieces in the middle game, and c4 is certainly a square. So f4, I'm happily going to jump into c4, winning a tempo on the bishop. If she plays b3, I'm thinking, well, okay, I'm going to go rook c8, useful move. I might lose the tempo later on when she plays here, but maybe I can get enough counterplay on the queen side in that position. But I think, to be honest, if I was white here, I'd still be tempted to play this move because f4 is coming. Now, can I go completely crazy with h5 and knight g4? The answer is in nearly every single case. Nearly every single case, the answer is no. The answer is no. If she starts playing stuff like f4, knight here, bishop c1, this seems so artificial, and queen b6 is a very good solution. She's losing too much time, and e5 will be very powerful at the right moment. You don't want to start moving your pieces back. Now I'm keeping it quite flexible. I mean, I want a castle, but I was a little bit worried about this e5 move, and in this position, I'm most worried about this. Let's say rook here, queen d2, or maybe even knight coming into this square. That's the kind of thing I'd be worried about. But I'm kind of thinking here, queen d2. Can we go knight takes g4? Pawn takes, knight takes g4. Vague compensation, I think is what we can say there. Vague compensation. So we'll see what Maaike now plays. A number of possible choices in the position. Number of possible choices. And remember, Maaike needs to win this game to level the little match score, and then we have a blitz payoff if we have time. I think I just answered your question about f4, knight c4, bishop c1 if you were listening. I just spoke about that a second ago. So a draw for me is enough to win this little mini match. Simon, are you drinking beer? It's 10:50, and that's even a bit early for me. No, I'm not. This is water with a vitamin C tablet in, which are probably completely pointless, but it feels like I'm doing something good to my body for a change. So it's nice to do something good for your body for a change. Get a bit of vitamin C in. Can't believe how hot it's going to be today. It's already absolutely boiling out there. Okay, so the good thing about this position is I don't actually need to. I could be spending a lot of time thinking, but there's a lot of different setups that White can play. Does White play b3 or not? I mean, I would be playing b3, I think, and she's gone for a much more aggressive move. a4, very interesting move. And this is a typical way to try and break down the b5 pawn. And one thing I've noticed about Maaike's play, and this is, I think, a real strength for her, she's going to be incredibly strong. She's a very talented player, is that she always tries to play the critical move. And a4 is a critical move. So the idea is to slam dunk the knight in there and play. Now you don't ever want to take here because your a pawn's weak, and b4 is nearly always the move to play. Now I can consider this one. Takes, and this doesn't look completely stupid to me to go knight c4. In actual fact, give up a pawn for some positional compensation. Here, takes. Maybe, like I say, this is quite interesting, I think. But I'm a little bit behind in my development there, so I'm gonna stick with b4. I'm not gonna think about it. This one was quite interesting. If I was castled in a better shape, I might do that. Now this is obviously a very standard idea. Now the problem with this is a piece can get into c6. So I've also got to watch out for these tricks. So let's say bishop g7, what I want to play, and behind in development, have I been too optimistic? Am I worried about that? Not particularly worried about that. That's my phone. Yes, it is. So knight takes b4. The thing is, if I take here, takes. This knight is coming in, right? It must be a little bit better for her. So knight c4. Do I go for this? Takes, like the Dubov line. How's that one? And the bishop, if it comes back, then I think this is actually not so bad. Knight c4. Knight c4, and yes, I double my pawns, but I'm quite solid there. And h5 is a move that I do have, because if she goes there, I can take it. I'm going to try this one. This seems like quite a unique move. I'm always worried about some idea of the bishop coming into here. So the knight on c4 covers that one. I would love to get rid of the dark squared bishop. And for the time being, not capturing here, because if I capture here straight away, White's got an idea of supporting a knight come into c6, which is a very traditional plan. So I don't want to allow Maaike to get a pawn to d5, because if she does, it's just like this idea of the knight coming in, which she can't do if I just go here. Now hang a minute, has she got e5? No, because you've got to be very careful about this e5 tactical move, but she can't because I just take on d4. Okay, we're going to go for this one. Let's play this move. And what I'm hoping to do is she moves the bishop. I'm hoping just to play bishop g7 and castle without worrying about these tactics. Now, a4 I think was a very good move. Now she can, of course, take this pawn, but I'm very happy to win the dark square bishop. I think I'll have lots of compensation then, and I've kept quite a lot of lines on the queen side closed. So I better just answer this message very quickly. Let's just have a look. So bear with me. It's not any chess related message, so yeah. Just okay. Oh, what's happening here? Don't do that. Voice mod suddenly jumps up. I'm here, just answering this. White horse. Bit earlier. Okay, cool. Right, so she has taken here, and this seems like the most logical move, right? Because you take on this square and you get this quite unique and interesting pawn structure. And obviously, again, in both my games, I'm getting quite dodgy pawn structures. But this one looked quite interesting to me because my knight seems quite good. And the move that really made me attracted to this position was h5. You know, I love pushing Harry, and normally this move would not be so good because of g5, but she can't really play that now because I just take there. So do I go for this straight away? Is she, again, got to watch out for this one. So h5 there takes. Can she play something like takes here? I don't think so. I think my king has this square. So, but or do I develop? And I think in this case my bishop just wants to cover my king with bishop e7. So she's probably going to go b3, f4, bishop b2. So I probably again want to play with some urgency here in this structure. Just this one really, I'm just so scared of this e5 hitting me, but I don't think it's ever scary. So I think I might try h5. It seems like a very interesting move here, and maybe I should play it now, because if Maaike gets time to play some moves, then I could just get forced backwards and I'll never have a chance to do it. So I mean, I could play this maybe, but after this, do I have a good move? I don't think so. I could play a quiet move, but I think you should always try and play the most critical move in the position. And there you go. She can see that Harry's come into the game again. Good old Harry. It is risky, but if you're going to play the Sicilian Dragon, it's bloody risky anyway. So yeah. So this is the one advantage of having the pawn on f6, right? So this is why I really played this structure, because it means that h5 is a more tempting move to play. Why am I playing h5? Well, the idea is clearly to take here and then have h file to attack along. So if I can successfully take on g4, then the h file becomes very dangerous for her. I don't need to castle. My bishop sits very comfortably in front of my king, and my king is nice and solid. If she takes with the queen, well, then she has a little bit of problems with the h pawn, and she might even get hit by the bishop coming around, the knight hitting the queen. If she takes it, it's the same kind of thing. So this asks Maaike questions about, right, okay, what are you going to do? What are you actually going to do with your position here? Because you've got to do something. Now, again, this move I just take here, and the line I was just a little bit concerned about was something like her throwing in an intermezzo, taking here and trying to check me. But my king is actually okay on d7 in that position. As she plays b3, which I expect she might play, I can even consider taking here. So let's calculate that. That's quite interesting. Pawn takes here, and look at Harry go. Look at Harry go. Harry takes there, then she should play bishop f3. And Harry can get all the way to h2, but after king h1, Harry's not that happy with what he's done. So if he plays here, knight e5, I say here, I meant she, of course, f4. Maybe this is a better way of doing it. Takes, and then I take here. This looks like promising, actually. Sacking a piece, and if the okay, so she's taken here, and clearly well, I mean, pawn takes actually is not ridiculous because I had the g file. Yeah, it's not ridiculous. Takes, but is that? I mean, that would be. But I don't want to give the f5 square for the knight. Is she going to move the knight there anyway? I don't. Maybe at some point. I can't give this square for the knight. I need to keep that covered. So if she moves here immediately, she's not threatening anything. But I don't want to take with a pawn and allow the knight there. I mean, it was interesting because I do get the g file to attack along. But let's remember, my king is in the middle of the board. So now she really will want to get rid of this knight at some point. So b3, of course, good move. Now, if I go here, she'll play this move f4. And this is the problem in my position. If I start to get pushed backwards, things could start to go wrong for me. So if I play here, f4 seems to help her. But whereas my knight is a little bit annoying here at the moment. Do I have to move it like f4 back to d7? Or do I come? I don't really know where it's going if I put it anywhere else. So I think I might have to come in the center and hope that. I don't really know what it's doing on b6. What's it doing? But does f4 help her or not? I feel f4 actually really helps her position because it gives her chances to just knock me off the board. So I think I'm going to have to move this to b6. And then this way, just to avoid any tempos. This looks more sensible to me to come here. I don't really think I want to give her the f4 move. I could have considered leaving the knight there with some speculative sacrifice, but I don't believe it. So an interesting position, very dynamic position. I'm not sure where I'm going to put my king, but I think bishop e7 and then the king coming to g7 will be the best way of doing this. Put the bishop on e7, cover everything, and then I move the king behind my pawns. This is probably the safest way. And I think the bishop always wants to come to e7 here, just to guard the king. So this is like my next move if I don't need to think. And my moves are quite simple to play. Now she can play a4, which is a good positional move. I fully expect I'm going to lose this b pawn at some point. I'm hoping by that stage I would have maybe done something. I'm even thinking like bishop c8 is a move I want to play, but before I play bishop c8 I want to get my rook out of the way. So I'd probably want to do something like move my rook to c5 or c3 and then get my bishop to start attacking Maaike's king side over there. So this is another way to play. Get the bishop around. So Maaike's got to think of a way to try and get through, I think, in the middle. So will she play f4 anyway? Because then f5 is a way to try and cause some problems. And of course f4 and e5 will try to open up the e line. But these double pawns, they give me some consolidation in the center of the board. So my next moves is, like I say, it's quite easy for me to play. I go rook c8, and then maybe I come into one of these holes. I kind of like this weird idea coming into c5 and then trying to get it over here later on. And also rook on c5 covers all these squares, and I'll be very well covering my 5th rank. And why is that good? Because if she ever tries to push on with a pawn, I'll be like hitting those pawns with both my rooks. So this is not completely stupid idea, but I think also just a very sensible idea of bringing the king to g7. So she's going for this move. Yay, look at that. She's going all in, all in. And this seemed like a very decent move to me. But it doesn't threaten anything as far as I can see just yet. So if I take it, she takes the rook. And this is obviously something I want to avoid, but I felt like I had time. Is she going to move the knight around this way? I'm not so worried about that. So what if I move my rook back before she gets a chance to move this bishop in here? And then I'm hoping I can take it and take here. And this king d7 seems like quite an important idea. So this is the threat. The bishop coming to f4. And I don't want to allow the bishop to come to f4. That would be too much pressure. So I think I moved the rook, right? So I keep this threat alive. Now, is she going to go here? Am I gonna get smashed by some brilliancy? Hope not. Bishop takes here. Rook e1. Bloody hell! This is if that works, then she is Madame Tao. Now, do I move the rook here, or do I move it to h7? I don't know which is better. Do I have it? Which square? The advantage of bringing it here, it can come this way. The advantage of bringing it here, I might better get the other rook over, but I think that's kind of fantasy. So I think rook h8 is logically the way I'm going to play. Then I'm kind of thinking if she can play this, she can play it. Bishop takes here, but I'm going to let her calculate that because I feel I'm pretty solid. So we're going to go for this move just so we can try to get rid of that extremely annoying knight, and we need to do it before Maaike gets one more tempo. But she's playing very aggressive and exciting chess at the moment. So at least here, the good thing about this is I don't really have to think. She either has some sacrifice, then I've just got to try to deal with it, or she doesn't. So it's over to Maaike to try and find the right moves here. And I really don't want to be playing d5 with my king on e8. I mean, that looks like suicide to me, because the open e file would be horrible. If I play d5, she can maybe take it. It just feels so wrong. I mean, the computer might say d5, but for a human, I don't think any human would think about opening the area of the board where their king is. I like my pawn here, and I want to keep my pawn here. So let's have a look. e5, bishop takes here. And I don't feel this should work. I really don't. Rook e1, I mean, this is really crazy line. It can't work. This e5 just can't work. Okay. If she wins a brilliant game with that, then she's just absolute genius. But I can't see it working here. Can't see it working. Okay, so she's gone rook e1, and she's now, this is preparing this e5 move. Again, keeps playing very aggressive chess, and this is nice play. I kind of underestimated this one because of course I thought I was kicking this one away. She's keeping the pressure on. So takes, bishop e7, bishop takes here. Can I start a counter attack then? I don't think so. Good play from Maaike. And now I'm certainly getting worried about e5, because if e5, bishop takes here, then she can take with check. So I need to, this is the move I need to deal with. So queen c7 or d7 looks natural to me. Queen c7 looks more normal, so the d7 knight has the thing. So queen c7, e5, and then I'll just take that one. Like, let's say pawn takes. Bishop takes bishop, queen takes here. And the good idea about queen c7, I just defend my bishop, so when she moves her pawn, I can just take it. So queen here, pawn takes here. You often get this in the Sicilian. She's playing very aggressive chess, and it could be brilliant. But as black, you've got to just, the Sicilians, you just got to soak it up and try to defend. Otherwise you lose against a brilliant game. So I think queen c7. And the other thing there, it does give my king another escape square. Maybe I can castle queenside. So what's she going to do after this? Is she going to go bishop f4? Well, then I'm hoping, I'm threatening to take here. Takes king d8. Bishop takes c7. Queen takes. Bishop takes f4. Wow. So maybe after queen c7, bishop f4, I castle. Okay, I'm going queen c7. We are going queen c7. So I'm defending my bishop. I may be getting ready to castle, and I may be getting ready to take the knight, because after pawn takes check, my king can move, and I'm defending my bishop. The main idea of this move is really to defend the bishop and to try and castle. But as Mate in China says, really enjoying the way that Maaike is playing at the moment. She's playing super aggressive chess. She's trying to kill me before I can get my king safe. So extremely exciting games that we're getting, which is nice. Obviously you want super exciting games when you're playing, much more fun to commentate on in nearly all situations. And she has a number of moves here, but I'm kind of thinking this castles is like a savior, yeah. And let's remember, my knight can also come back round to d7 to e5 if she puts the piece on the wrong square at the right time. So she's gone back. Now that's the kind of move when you're playing with Black and Sicilian, you're kind of like happy, because as soon as they go backwards, you're like, okay, that's good. I'm not getting mated straight away, but the knight is coming in here, and she's still aiming to open this up. So do I play bishop e7, stick to the king f8, or do I go queenside? Now queenside does look really risky. There's lots of open lines. Again, you've got to go with your instinct sometimes, and I'm thinking I'm going to try to go bishop e7 and king f8. My king here is much better protected. So bishop e7, and then let's say she plays a5, knight back, knight d5, bishop takes, pawn takes, king f8. I think I'm okay. Bishop here, here, knight here, takes, queen takes. That's a bit more scary. Attacking my rook. My rook comes to this square, and I'm claiming I'm solid. So I think bishop e7, I really want to defend this file, yeah? It is the right move. Just play another developing move. Castling might be playable, but again, you've got to go with your instinct. And it looks... I'm going to go here, play with my instinct, develop a piece, and try to get my king to f8, and then to g7. Because pawns are great protectors of kings. Castling queenside, my pawns are kind of... My pawns have done walkies, right? My pawns have all like wandered up the board. Now, I'm thinking like a5, knight d7, knight d5 would be what she plays. Very normal reaction. Maybe I should have thought about this more, but my idea is to take that one. I'm not worried about pawn takes because king f8 looks safe to me. And if queen takes, I'm going to go rook here. And again, I'm very solid. I'm very solid. And she does have this weakness here in the long term, and also a weakness here. So positionally, I kind of feel like positionally I'm very happy with my situation. Very happy with this position at the moment in time. It seems like I have most things covered, and I'm solid. I kind of like my position. Is that optimistic? Is that optimistic? And yeah, I mean, and also there's clearly ways I can improve my position. I mean, putting my king on g7 is a very simple way to improve. Maybe Maaike is going to change plans and just go bishop here, because at least having a bishop on that diagonal seems the correct thing to do if I put my king onto this square. And she can play stuff like rook c1, c3, and try to get the rook into the game on the c file. And maybe I'm being a bit optimistic when I'm saying I prefer my position slightly here, but I would actually say that it's probably equal. Okay, so I think it's more in Maaike's style to play super aggressive. The way that she plays, she loves attacking. You've got to appreciate that style of her, like Judith Polgar, likes coming forwards. And I kind of expect this knight to come in. But after bishop takes, I don't know what she's going to play. Queen takes. She's gone in. I have to get rid of this knight. It's far too strong. She's taken with the pawn. Okay. Now, I didn't consider this a lot, because I thought, maybe incorrectly, that after king f8 I was fairly safe. But is she going to go queen e2? Did I miss into... I thought my position was kind of rock solid here. I have to play... Well, I have to play here anyway. And if she does take, I can just take. And I got... She can grab this one, like queen here, rook here, grabs there. I didn't see that one. But can I get some counterplay then? king to g7. I'm nicely developed. Then queen c6. Okay, so this is the one thing I did not see was this idea of coming and taking on a6. So queen here. I can go bishop d8, but I just don't like playing these. I don't like playing these moves, like bishop d8. Of course, the other move which I see Alex Saints is talking about is knight e5, but you have to have a good response to f4 then. If you don't have a good response to f4, you can't play the knight there because you just lose. Okay, so she didn't go for this plan. She's gone for this one. And our king here is not playable because my bishop is on pre. So it's an intriguing position, this, and I don't know. I don't know who's better. So bishop d8, maybe I have to play, but I don't particularly like it. Do I go rook here first and then try to just get my pieces into their squares? Knight c5 is also maybe a very nice move. Does knight c5 keep everything defended? It's the kind of move I don't want to play because I feel that the knight wants to keep this square as an option, but maybe it's a good move. So I like my position still. I do like my position, but am I being overly optimistic? I mean, one of my downsides and positive sides. So rook h4 is not crazy to stop f4 and then try to put the knight there. I've got lots of ideas here. Rook here, I'm kind of liking now. Kind of liking this one. My rook's not doing anything. Got to be a bit careful. My bishop is a bit loose. Maybe I'm getting too optimistic. Maybe just rook e8. Maybe I should just bring this rook here. Give my position that extra protection it might need. Seems a bit. This one is like the most interesting. Knight here. And how does she play f4 in that position? Because I've got g5 coming. I think I might play this because I'm trying to stop f4 so my knight can come to the center. The one problem with this straight away is f4. So if we think logically, if we stop f4, our knight goes there. Plonk. Lovely. Lovely. So I'm thinking rook here is okay. Now this sacrifice doesn't work, does it? Check. King comes back here. I don't believe. I really. This is a really active move to play. Now I'm not sure if it's the best move, but I want to keep playing quite uniquely, and I'm playing this move to try and stop f4, so I can get knight e5, king here, get my rook here, and then it's my time. If Maaike ever threatens f4, I do have the extra move g5 to stop that move from ever happening. So rather than put my knight on c5, and I'm saying that's a nice square, rather than put my knight on this square, it doesn't really do much on c5. It's purely a defensive move. What do I mean by that? It defends the pawn. It defends that one. Knight e5 is a much more proactive move. Why? Because I can see in the future that knight, it's in the center, it blocks Maaike's attack, but it also has potential to come towards Maaike's king. So this one to me seems like the right way. If she ever takes it, I take with the f pawn, and she'd be positionally lost then. Her dart squares will be horrendous. One of the problems she got is her bishop. I don't think her bishop is good. That's why I'm quite surprised she went for this. It looks scary for me, but positionally speaking, I don't think she's got a very good position here. And my simple plan is knight here, king here, and then wait. And g5 is an important move, I feel, at some point if f4 is ever threatened. I've got to watch out for tactics, but I don't think they're working. So queen here, and then knight here. That's a taxi I booked, actually. Hello, Ken. How you doing? Oh, it's Simon here, Gary's friend, Simon from Street is Close. Yeah, hi. How you doing? You all right? Yeah, good. I was just wondering if there's any chance you can give us a lift, possibly. Is that right? I mean, I'm now thinking maybe 12:30. Would that be okay? Yeah, okay. 12:30 would be great, actually. So, yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, cheers. Brilliant. All right, then. Catch you later. See you later. Bye. Okay, there you go. Just booking a taxi that I had to book later on. Hope I didn't lose too much time there. And let's just get my phone charged up again. Yeah, you're off the hook there, Blair. Thanks for the offer, though. Very kind. Okay, so I think here, yeah. Well, I've got to play this move now, yeah, because otherwise my whole plan is not making any sense. Without this move, then why did I put the rook here? So this is the only way. This is the only way to play. And as long as Maaike can't, just think about this positionally. Positionally, I'm just doing really well. I think this is just a very bad position for white, because if she can't play f4, how does she ever get rid of this knight here? If she ever takes it, I simply take with a pawn, and my bishop has some lovely dart squares, and positionally these pawns are going to be very weak. And I've always got this move g5, like I said, just to make sure she can never go f4. So I really think this is just a great position for me. And when you're in these kind of things, you've got to watch out for pawn breaks. But this pawn break, rook here, then getting the c file, it doesn't really scare me, because my queen can come here, and later on I'm certainly going to be getting ready for rook takes h3. So for example, king g7 here, I'm starting to look at sacrifices on this square. If she tries, I mean, I was thinking like she can try to play this in a lot of ways. Rook f1 or bishop c1. Now bishop c1 is not really the move you want to play, and I got a very active solution there, queen c3, attacking the rook and maybe threatening rook takes h3. Let's just remember, when I get this move in, my attack is going to be pretty damn strong, right? You know, I get that, and I can take that one with either a queen or a rook. Her king is very badly defended, and this knight, like I mentioned, certainly has ways to jump forwards. But my backup solution, if bishop c1, is just to play g5. Okay, so I think she's going to try and play for rook d4, and this is a good move. She's realizing that f4 is a key move, and this is certainly a good move. So again, one thing to do in chess, which is a real strength if you can do it, is to work out your opponent's ideas and stop them. If she does that, she gets rid of my rook. So my first thought is just queen c5. Queen c5 to control d4, and my queen is a little bit more active. Now if she goes king h2, she's got to watch out for these checks. And she's still not threatening f4. So she wants to go something to d4 and then f4. So I'm going to go queen c5 just to stop that one. And this looks like my queen now gets a slightly more active position, but I'm controlling f4, I'm controlling here, and I can improve my position with king g7 and get the rook over. And this would certainly be strong if I can do this. The other advantage is this: I'm making doubly sure that one can't move. Okay, so now she is playing this one, and she's played this cleverly, yeah, because she's got the rook away from that square. Now g5 is my first thought, and then if the bishop comes here, maybe I come back to c8 because I want to attack here, but I really got to stop this f4. So positionally speaking, g5 is the move I play, because if she can't move that knight, I think I'm always better personally. And I might even, you know, maybe a good move, I can grab a pawn, yeah, I can go queen takes a5 in these kind of structures and just grab that pawn. It is a pawn after all. But queen c8 is more like hit and run, right? Bishop e3, queen c8 is kind of quite exciting. Because if I go here, rook a1, I mean, queen c8 gets in the way of my rook. Queen b5 is probably a good positional move, but then I don't really. Maybe she's keeping. Maybe she's still holding this one, and she wants to get rook d4 in. So why not queen to c3 again, holding this square? Queen c3, bishop here. Well, remember, a draw wins me the match, so I think queen c3 now is again. I'm just trying to stop her ideas. So queen c8, she can go rook d4. It's okay for me, but I like my rook. I take here, she can go rook a1, she gets counterplay. Queen c3, this controls everything, and I want to keep control, so I'm going to move my queen here. And by keeping control, and now she's going for a queen exchange, and generally I'm pretty happy to see that, but there is some tactics. And remember I mentioned knight to f3 before. This is suddenly now queen c8 is looking really quite interesting. Is it now time to change gears, or do we keep it positional? I've got to watch out for this pawn in some endings, so it's okay, there's no tactics. Rook takes here, take here, check, nothing. Takes, rook takes, queen c8, queen c8 I like. Has she got anything? Queen c8, bishop here, rook takes h3, and my queen is looking very nice on f5. I like this. The queen on f5 is very nice because then knight f3. So queen c8 is kind of calling out to be played. Bishop here, queen f5, minimum. It's a bit risky, but let's go for it. Now, is she going to play f4? It doesn't really help her. So queen c8 it is. Okay, we're going queen c8. Two ideas. We're starting to threaten some ideas like this now. And the other idea is my queen on f5 is going to prepare knight coming into f3 check. And this seems to be getting, like I say, nearer to the main thing, which is a king. But look how fantastic this rook is. It guards my pawn. It makes moves like d4 harder. It makes f4 harder. So this is the way to go. And my general plan. So given a chance. Okay, so she's gone f4, which is maybe okay. I have to take it. I say that, then I start looking at knight f3, takes, and in we go. I don't believe that. It's not going to checkmate in that position. Even though it's kind of like interesting. I think taking here is just good. I'd love to get this rook over here. I don't see how I'm going to do that. We can't have everything in the world, right? But maybe takes and we continue with this one. Let's keep it simple. Now, when I say keep it simple, I would not be surprised if the tactics are getting quite near working now. But queen here is my first idea. Now rook takes here, takes on, rook takes here, let's say takes, nothing. Well, I don't know, it's something, isn't it? This position looks good for me, but I can certainly mess this up. Check. Bishop e3, doesn't seem to help. Bishop, queen f5, bishop g3. What do I play then? That's the key line. Can I then play this one? Yeah, okay, actually taking here looks really tempting immediately. The more I look at this, the more I think, hang on. Takes, f takes. Looks pretty tempting. But I don't know, something about it I don't really trust. This one here, and I keep it more calmer. Well, where my rook gets kicked away, but my knight is good. Take here, takes here. There's a rook f1. That's the only thing I'm wondering about there. I'm going to keep it relatively simple. I don't know if rook takes h3 was the right way to play. Maybe rook takes h3 was correct, but this seems quite interesting. And now I wanted to come here. So I'm trying to keep my pieces as fluid as possible. Rook takes h3. And I want to get this one into c3. So we're using the rooks in quite a funny way. We're using horizontally, right? So this keeps control because she has to come here. Now the simple idea is to come here. I want to get all pieces in the game. If there's not an immediate win, let's get the pieces in. And this one, trying to come in here, must threaten something. But again, it's about this knight on e5. If she takes it, I'm very happy. Now if she takes here, I've got rook takes c2. And of course with this move, I'm actually threatening rook takes c2 immediately. And it seems to me like everything is doing all right there. All my pieces seem to be chatting to each other, and they all seem to be coordinating. My knight is tremendous, even though my bishop is not great. With a knight like that, typical Sicilian knight, bang, your opponent can't get through. My double pawns are good, so she's ended up doing here. Now this check is just a check, and here I think this check I can take. So we're coming in. We don't need to think too much. Play good, aggressive move. It's only one check. My king comes here, so she has to now defend. And it's time to start thinking about, is there something forced here, like knight d3? Knight d3. I mean, do we keep it simple and take? That's a very simple solution. But I like my active rook. Or do we even move the king? Okay, knight d3. It feels a bit artificial, I think. Do I put my king on the same file as this, though? Don't know about that. Do we keep it simple and take? Oh, shit, my time. Time. Okay, I play that. I'm a little bit worried about a rook coming here, actually. But I don't see if she can do it. Bishop here, I take. What's that? That's a bit risky, my last move, I have to say. It's just getting down to the time scramble now, right? So far, so okay, so I have to go here, but okay, what's that doing? Okay. Oh. Bishop, queen here. Okay, I'm doing this because I might be threatening some stuff, keeping defense. I'm thinking knight g6 is a nice consolidator in a lot of positions. Now, how are the endings of queen to e3? Takes, rook over here. They're okay, but I think I want to keep the queens on the board here. So I'm pretty sure the queen should remain on the board. Okay, now this check. Very tempting now. But do I have a follow-up? Okay. Do we take here? Okay, I'm going to gain time. Remember, a draw is all I need to win the match. So a little practical choice when I'm short of time. And we'll see what she does. Here. Okay, let's go for the draw. Okay. I don't know, mate. I mean, I think in that position, and we could play for a win, of course, but we're probably better. But a draw takes the match, and Maaike scares me with her aggressive chess, so I'll take the draw. Pragmatic. There are probably some other ways to play, but I'm so bad when I'm short of time. So let's get Maaike. Let's say hello to Maaike. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. How you doing? All right?
Yeah, it was an exciting game again.
That was a really exciting game, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened. I thought I was doing well at some point, but you made quite a good counterattack, I have to say.
Yeah, it looked quite scary, didn't it? I mean, when you got the knight to f5, but I felt I was probably all right. I mean, when I say probably, it was, I'm not entirely sure. We can sort of go back there because there's lots of moves. It looks scary for me, doesn't it? It looks really scary.
Totally looks scary.
I thought probably after knight d5, you know, when you got knight d5 in, I thought actually here, I was quite happy here because I thought, right, I've got quite a solid structure. I know you've got the e file, but maybe after king f8, maybe you could try queen e2 here. This is a move that scared me straight away.
I did it on the next move, but then I wasn't so convinced anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe here it's much better because later I went back with the bishop anyway, so it's not that good on me.
Yeah. This might be the time to play it because if I go rook e8, you might even grab on a6 potentially.
Yeah.
Why not? You know, quite a big pawn. So
I would have taken it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I might
better be greedy.
Better to be greedy. So I might have to play bishop d8, but then my coordination's a little bit funny, right? So I don't know about. I guess I'm better in the final position. Must be, but I'll just put it on the analysis board. What is it? Oh, the analysis said 0.0. Is that right?
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I felt it was difficult for white to do anything, and
definitely.
Both low on time. Okay, draw is fine.
Draw is okay. Yeah, he actually thinks we're pretty even. I thought around here I was doing really well. I was really over optimistic about my position, but
Yeah, I can imagine why. I was getting
yeah,
scared too. Like
it looks very scary, doesn't it, to a human
for
with all these
sure.
pieces over here? I mean, everything's coming in. So yeah,
Your bishop on e7, he's a bit sad. Like if that
it
one
is.
was on d7, then I would have been really scared.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and it's very hard to get his bishop in the game, isn't it? But my knight kind of makes up for it, right?
Yeah, it's so beautiful, I have to say.
It is. Yeah. So I think a draw a fair result, and like I say, two very interesting games, and
For sure, I had fun.
I was a bit lucky in the first game. So
Yeah,
Maaike,
I have learned from that. Don't overpress with that little time on the clock.
it's a bit risky. So
A bit.
it's
Bit much.
a little bit much. Right, Michael, I've probably got to go. So thank
Yeah,
you
I know,
so
but it
much
was
for the
really
game.
fun to play. Thank you for playing. Yeah,
Thank you.
and congratulations, you won.
Thank
Match.
you. Yeah, makes a nice change for these challenge matches. Don't normally win, but thank you. A bit lucky to win, but there were some very interesting games, interesting chess. So
Yeah.
so you're
it
going to
was-
get your YouTube, sorry, your Twitch channel. You're gonna.
Might start soon. People are in the chat even asking about it, so maybe.
That's great. Good idea to start that. Definitely.
Yeah, why-
Definitely. Okay, Michael, I've got to go. So thank you
Yeah,
for the
have a great
games.
rest of the day. And thanks for playing again.
Thank you so much.
And thanks everyone for watching. Bye.
Cheers. Bye then. Bye. Okay, brilliant. So I'm actually going out in about 45 minutes, and I've got some stuff to do. Hence why draw off was also a good thing. Gives me time to end the stream now, and to get ready. I can even have a shower. It's so hot. I need to have a shower. You don't know how much I'm sweating. It's not no fun. But thank you all for viewing. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you follow the channel. Which would be most appreciated. It'd be great if you could just, give me a little bit of support. You don't even have to subscribe. If you really want to give me support, then you can subscribe to the channel. But it all helps if you enjoyed it. And do please check out my YouTube channel as well. So thank you very much, everyone. I'll be back streaming again soon. Nice early morning stream. And and a very, very close match. Maaike played extremely well, and the match could have gone either way. So well played to my opponent as well. Cheers for now.